Hello there, very good evening and welcome to your Primetime News Bulletin. I'm Shane Silva.
And I'm Aishwarya Pinto. Today's parliamentary sessions were limited to several minutes following the security detail of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa was taken up for debate. The debate thereafter escalated to a brawl. Newsfirst has a comprehensive report on the situation which took place this evening. Here's a look at the day's top stories.
Parliament adjourned following tense situation.
UNP MP injured in the altercation in Parliament hospitalised.
Media freedom and rights of journalists will be strengthened. Statement from the President.
Supreme Court says right to information bill inconsistent with Constitution.
Ministry of Power and Renewable Energy confused over future energy requirement. Details later on in the news bulletin. President Maithripala Sirisena presided over an event in Colombo today, organised to mark World Press Freedom Day, which falls today.
A set of proposals to establish a righteous media culture in Sri Lanka, prepared by the Sri Lankan University Teachers Association of Communication and Media Studies, were presented to the President at this event.
The government is one that clearly accepts the policies for media freedom. The government is one that would make any commitment towards that. That is why in the near future the Right to Information Bill also will be presented in Parliament. When governments were elected in 1970 and 77, I was serving as a provincial correspondent for 3 years at Lake House. Journalists can be proud that it is a journalist in the country who has been elected president. The government, as a state policy, has accepted media freedom, the right of journalists, strengthening the media institutions and nourishing them, and are committed to do whatever it is required to ensure that is done. My view is that the world is ruled not by politicians but by the media. There are media institutions that make complaints against the actions of certain media institutions in the country. Just as we nurture media freedom and protect it, all media heads should always make sure that activities are carried out in an ethical way, especially to which extent websites use the freedom they have.
නිදහස අනිසි විදියට පාවිච්චි කරනවාද කියන කාරණාව.
Parliamentarian Sandit Samarasinghe, who sustained injuries during the altercation which broke out in Parliament today, is receiving treatment at the Colombo National Hospital. The altercation erupted when the debate on the curtailment of the security of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa was taken up today. We'll have the details of this story later on in the bulletin, but for now, World Press Freedom Day 2016 is marked today under the theme Access to Information and Fundamental Freedoms. This is your right.
Proposals of the World Press Freedom Day was initially presented in the year 1991. World Press Freedom Day was proclaimed by the UN General Assembly in December 1993, followed by the recommendation of UNESCO's General Conference. It is an opportunity to celebrate the fundamental principles of press freedom, assess the state of press freedom throughout the world, defend the media from attacks on their independence, and pay tribute to journalists who have lost their lives in the line of duty. The 250th anniversary of the world's first freedom of information law, covering both modern-day Sweden and Finland. Issuing a statement for the International Press Freedom Day, UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon urges all governments, politicians, businesses and citizens to commit to nurture and protect an independent free media. Director General of UNESCO, Irina Bukova, says that access to information is a fundamental freedom and part of the basic human right to freedom of expression. Receiving and imparting information both offline and online is a cornerstone of democracy, good governance and rule of law. She also highlights the safety of journalists at a time when tragically a media professional is killed every 5 days. Sri Lanka has moved up 24 positions in the World Press Freedom Index released by Reporters Without Borders. The index has been topped by Finland, and at the bottom of the index lies Eritrea at 180. Although Sri Lanka has leveled up 24 positions in the World Press Freedom Index, the abduction of several journalists and harassment of several media networks that took place during the previous government has not been justified.
Pragit Ignaligoda, date of disappearance 24th January 2010. 29th April 2005, journalist Sivaram murdered. 6th January 2009, the MTV Embassy studio complex in the Panama attacked. 8th January 2009, Senior journalist Lasantha Vikramatunga assassinated. 25th March 2009, office premises of Jaffna's leading newspaper Udayan suffers hand grenade attack. 22nd March 2010, attack on the head office of the MTV-MBC network. Several employees injured and property damaged. 30th July 2010, Seatha Media Institution attacked. 29th July 2010, journalist attached to Jaffna's leading newspaper Udayan attacked. 13th April 2013, office of Jaffna's leading newspaper Udayan suffers another attack. The Udayan office and its employees have been attacked on 33 separate occasions. 6th September 2013, unidentified group entered the residence of journalist Mandana Ismail, one suspect killed in police fire. 15th February 2013, senior journalist Faraz Shaukat Ali shot. These are only a few of the attacks on journalists and media institutions in the country. Depriving media freedom was one reason that led the change in government in the recent past. The current government too is not undertaking a proper probe on this. Is this not a violation of media ethics? For your attention.
The Supreme Court has held that several provisions in the draft of the Right to Information Bill are in violation of the Constitution. Speaker Karujai Surya informed Parliament of the Supreme Court's determination when parliamentary sessions commenced this afternoon.
I would like to inform this House that I have received the decision of the Supreme Court. It says that Section 5(1)A of the draft bill is in violation of Articles 3, 4, 12(1) and 14(a)(2) of the Constitution, while Section 9(2)A of the draft bill is in violation of Articles 3, 4, 12(1) and 14 of the Constitution, while Section 19 of the draft bill of the Right to Information Bill is in violation of Articles 3, 4, 12(1) and 55 of the Constitution, while Sections 43A and 43O of the draft bill is inconsistent with Articles 3, 4 and 14A of the Constitution. It adds that this bill can only be passed in its current state under the provisions of Article 84(2) of the Constitution and by a special majority. I order that the decision of the Supreme Court be printed on the day's parliamentary Hansard.
The case filed against MP Vimal Weerawansa for using 2 passports was taken up in court today.
The case was taken up at the Negombo High Court. The charges filed by the Attorney General was presented today in court. The case will be heard again on the 8th of September.
The charge against me is the possession of 2 passports. However, that charge has changed to possessing a disorganized passport. I was surprised. The Attorney General Department is yet to file charge sheets against the cases filed in 2005. However, in this case, the Aegis Department was very quick to act and file charges.
Parliamentarian Sandit Samarasinghe, who sustained injuries during the altercation which broke out in Parliament today, is receiving treatment at the Colombo National Hospital. The altercation erupted when the debate on the curtailment of the security of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa was taken up today.
A request of permission to question the Prime Minister on the decision to remove the military security provided for Mahinda Rajapaksa.
How could we have come to power without him? These persons are against President Mahinda Rajapaksa. You did not hear the rest of my story. We came to power after he himself met me on the night of the election and handed it over. So why are you screaming? I am trying to praise him. And since he has been misled because of these parliamentarians, we can stay in power for much longer. So I have to protect him. You do not like to protect him, do you? The Security Council and the Cabinet took a decision to provide security for everyone. Look at President Bush. He has been given police security. ISIS and everyone are all waiting to attack. When Tony Blair came to Sri Lanka, it was their police who provided him with security. We have no issue, so provide everyone with police security. If he wants, he can select anyone from the police force and even increase the number of personnel he needs. The minister is also ready to provide him with both the police and the STF. All of us, including the President and myself, are protected by the police and STF. If the party leaders in this house want to meet and discuss his security, we are ready to talk about it. We will discuss this matter even with him if needed. When we asked about what security should be given to Sarath Fonseca back then, what was given? What I am asking is, didn't he contribute to end the war as well? Madam Chandrika Bandaranaga Kumaratunga, who lost an eye in a bomb explosion, is also being provided with security. I am an ordinary civil servant, so I do not know the technical terms here, so I will allow Minister Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca to explain this to the House. When former President Chandrika Bandaranaga Kumaratunga had been given a security detail of 60 personnel, Mahinda Rajapaksa got that number reduced to 30 after speaking with the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. So after carrying such unethical acts, Mahinda Rajapaksa, the parliamentarian, has no right whatsoever to talk about his security only. Parliamentarian Mahinda Rajapaksa should be able to obtain the police security and be grateful about his security. The decision on whether or not to deploy the police for the rights of the politician lies with the government. It is not ethical to request for additional security for the sake that he is the ruler who ended the war. When I went into retirement, I was provided with just 20 army personnel, and that too were just ordinary soldiers.
Order please. Order please.
During the presidential election, when the Elections Commissioner ordered for security to be provided for me, the Commander-in-Chief at the time did not approve it. So today, when the Commander-in-Chief does not approve the security of Parliamentarian Mahinda Rajapaksa, they do not have the right to make such requests. Even to date, I am provided with the security of just 15 police officers. So if an army commander who won the war can be provided with a security of just 15 police officers, I do not see a reason why a president during the time of the war, who is now a parliamentarian, should have a security detail of 200 police officers.
Views are also expressed on the former opposition leader of the North Central Province, Major General Janaka Perera, who was killed in a suicide bomb attack.
When security for Janaka Perera was requested, it was Gotabaya Rajapaksa who ordered Sarath Silva as to how many personnel are required for his security. I was seated in front of Gotabaya Rajapaksa at that time, and he said that 6 police officers are more than enough.
His name mentioned here.
This led to the death of Janaka Perera. The former president and former defense secretary should take complete responsibility for his death. We also have suspicion over the bomb attack on the defense secretary. The terrorists would never launch a bomb attack at a range of 25 meters. The terrorists aren't stupid enough to launch a bomb at a bulletproof car. Even during the war, there was no threat to Mahinda Rajapaksa's life. According to reports of intelligence units, he had no threat to his life whatsoever.
Minister Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca also expressed views on Parliamentarian Johnston Fernando.
The only threat to MP Mahinda Rajapaksa was MP Johnston Fernando. He brought a terrorist along with him who tried to assassinate President Mahinda Rajapaksa.
No, but he could have been given an opportunity too. Sarath Fonseca's name was mentioned and he too was involved in the war. So he also has the right to explain the situation. That right was given to both factions. Please take your seats or I will have to give him another chance to speak. I cannot remain on one side.
අනේ දිනේෂ් ගුණවර්ධන මහත්මයා ඔතුමා වාඩි වෙන්න. මමත් දන්නවා ඔතුමත් නේ හැමදාම අවුල් කරන එකනේ වැඩේ. විශ්‍රාම ජනාධිපතිගෙක් හැටියට ආරක්ෂා බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා නම්
If he is expecting security as a retired president, then he should behave like a retired president instead of behaving like a parliamentarian. If he can do politics as an MP, he should only be provided with the security of an MP. It is very disappointing. They are screaming without knowing anything whatsoever about security. Do not scream like a group of monkeys. Do not behave like animals. Behave properly. We have given security. You know you called me the best army commander. They issued statements that I won the war. I was given promotions. I was welcomed with flower garlands. I was hugged and given room to cut the cake. But I was put in prison without security. Even today, I am given just 15 police officers. Thank you. You can scream more now.
A tense situation broke out in Parliament after Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca's statement. The situation developed into an exchange of blows between two factions of MPs, which left MP Sandit Samrasinghe injured. Thereafter, he was admitted to the Colombo National Hospital. When we tried to save our MPs from being attacked, MPs Piyal Nishanta and Prasanna Ranavira attacked us. This goes to show that there is no democracy even in Parliament. We brought in good governance, not expecting such incidents because we want everyone to live in peace and harmony. Just like before, there are still groups of thugs in Parliament and these forces are functioning under the radar.
Deputy Speaker Thilanga Sumathipala announced that he will submit a report to the Speaker tomorrow on the incident that transpired in Parliament this afternoon.
The Speaker has called for a report. He also instructed MP Adikilanathan and myself to probe the incident. I have obtained a video in this regard. We will submit a report to the Speaker by noon tomorrow. What action will be taken against the parliamentarians? There was an altercation. There is also blood splatter. Entering the chamber floor is wrong. Acting beyond the orders of the Speaker is also wrong. The verbal argument escalating to a brawl between the two sides is wrong. We will submit a report on who caused the altercation as well. A special party leaders meeting has been called for tomorrow after the submission of the report. The next step will be taken based on the findings in the report. The Speaker punished Saruni Gunawardena for throwing a water bottle. Compared to that, what happened today is far more serious. What kind of punishments will be imposed? Party leaders must take note to impose serious decisions to ensure that this does not happen again. I hope that action will be taken to curtail the period of appearing in Parliament and also on their respective parliamentary benefits.
The newly appointed Inspector General of Police, Pujit Jayasundara, today made his first visit to the Temple of the Sacred Tooth Relic following his appointment as the IGP.
IGP Pujit Jayasundara and several others were received at the Temple of the Sacred Tooth Relic by the temple's Deyawadada Nilame Pradeep Dayala Bandara. The IGP then worshipped the Sacred Tooth Relic and called on the Mahanayaka of the Malwatu chapter, the most venerable Tibbatuave Sri Sumangala Thero. The chief prelate of the Askiri chapter presented a statue of the Lord Buddha to the IGP. Following their meeting, the IGP called on the Mahanayaka of the Askiri chapter, the most venerable Varakagoda Jnanaratana Thero. The IGP also called on the Mahanayaka of the Ramanya Mahasek, the most venerable Napane Pemasiri Thero, at the Manikinna Hirakaduwa Sri Vidyasagara Pirivena.
Did you change the name of the police media unit or was it abolished?
No, nothing of that sort has happened. I stopped it temporarily. Not because of anything, but because I want to reorganize it with more strength and effectiveness. We are holding discussions with the top officials to provide details the media require. And that was to avoid baseless information released to the society. So I stopped it for the time being. The relevant officials will hold discussions and take necessary steps to implement a system to analyze when, in which instances, and how to provide information to the media.
How are we going to obtain information until then?
It won't take that long and you will not face inconvenience due to this. I explained to you the real situation. You might have received all the details you wanted. Nothing to question about. I simply explained everything. The discussion was held in Colombo today, focusing on the power and energy sectors.
The American Chamber of Commerce thematic lunch-on chat was held today under the theme Power and Energy. The chat was one in a series of discussions organized by the chambers. Nero Cook was the moderator of the forum.
JP Morgan, which is not the biggest environmentalist that you can find in this world, recently categorized coal mining in the same group as child labor in activities that they should not fund. That's JP Morgan. If you look at what US policy has been currently, Obama is not going to extend any state lands for coal mining anymore. India is taxing coal mining, $6 per ton. And they're putting that money into renewable energy.
How many coal power plants do you think we are going to build in the future?
I'm one of the strong environmentalists. In fact, even North power plant comes, we are lobbying government, and we must include the social and environmental cost into the pricing. At the time, we didn't have the methodology, so we say financing cost doesn't help make decision. You must include. So we didn't have actually strong methodology. Now the government says, okay, we will have only 2 more coal power plants. That's what they say. No more coal power plant. And that's what it is. But still, even the 2, which are Sampur, Indian and other plant, so they said that's only. But still, the pressure coming like professional like you all and say, no, even that 2 should not be done.
But talking about this least cost master plan, I see a flaw in what CB developed one which was went for public comment but was not finalized. But when they put out one big flaw I saw in that was they talk about the least cost, and they plan it for it's a long term, 20 years, but they take the rupee, the exchange rate constant, and that makes a big flaw in the whole thing.
We talk about blackouts. Now, how many blackouts we had because renewable energy didn't work? Did we fail? Where is the point of failure in all of the blackouts? It's not Cholet, it's the large coal power plants. So if CB engineers are coming and saying, oh, you know what, we put renewable energy, it's going to create blackouts, I think I need a whole bottle of salt, not just a pinch of salt to take that in.
Come on, we are a middle-income country. We are trying to do the best we can in every other sector. Look at telecom. If telecom operated the way CB is operating, we'll still be using landlines and waiting 3 years to get a phone connection.
We are getting blame, I'm attacked, and all because I have to protect CB as well as all these things. So still, I don't think we have no solution. I don't know who is telling the truth, to be honest. So, the investors say, no, ECB, no limit, they can absorb any amount of solar and wind. So-called intermittent is rubbish, they say. But CB is strongly say like and that debate has to be clear out, to be honest. So, we look at the policy. We want actually our 100% of our energy come from renewables.
The Niyanagala Aranyasena has been destroyed by the landslide that took place this evening in the Niyanagala mountain in Samanala. Athero is also reported missing. Police said that the landslide took place this evening, adding that police officers and relief teams have already reached the area. The Samanala police went on to say that families residing in the lower areas of the mountain have been evacuated to safer locations.
The new Sri Lanka Cricket Selection Committee Chairman Sanat Jayasuriya said if Sri Lanka is to get out of the present situation, they need to have good discipline and come up with a better plan with playing with belief. He mentioned these views during the Face the Nation program yesterday.
Do you think that there is politics in Sri Lanka cricket?
If there were no politics, there wouldn't have been so many changes within such a short time. Last 8 years which I have worked, there have been 5 committees I have worked for, 5 ministers I have worked for. So that's an indication alone, there is always politics. But the politics in different manner.
Does this politics really affect the players?
Yeah, sometimes. To be very frank, sometimes. There is politics involved. If you take, say, past 10 years, there were 9 interim committees. The democratic rights of the stakeholders were deprived by the politicians. That is how the politics came into the game. Then afterwards, some of the players affected by their actions. So, I should say yes.
Have you been a victim of politics?
When all the time interim committees comes, it's a politics. Myself as a chairman select, I resigned that time, last year when interim committee came. For that period of 1 year, I think everyone have seen what Sri Lanka cricket has gone through.
Sanat Jayasuriya also spoke on how the Sri Lankan team will be raised from its current status.
we have been going with some of the youngsters, and my thinking is to give them the chance. The thing is, we need to give them the confidence. I don't think 6 months ago they would have had that confidence with the players. I don't know. If they do all these things, our process right, even though you go and didn't do well there, we know that we did that process.
The Sri Lankan team that is going to England, are they going ahead with a proper contract in their hands?
Well, the contract expired in the month of February, the Cup, and we had discussions with the players and we extended it up to end of April. All players have agreed to it, and they would be going to UK on a tour contract, and after they return, they have agreed to that too. We want to sign up with them a long-term contract up to the World Cup.
Indian playback singer Arijit Singh, who shot to fame with the song Tum Hi Ho from Ashiki 2, is set to take Sri Lankan audiences by storm later this week. Singh will perform live for the first time in Sri Lanka, backed up by a symphony orchestra with 45 musicians on stage on the 8th of May at the Havelock Sports Club grounds.
Ashiki 2 set off Arijit Singh's career into a new area, as he was soon recognized by acclaimed movie directors and producers. Arijit Singh, who began his career participating in the reality show Fame Gurukul, in which he lost at the finals. But he won another reality show called 10K 10 Li Gaya Dil, paving the way for him to set up a recording studio. Subsequently, he went to become an assistant music programmer to Preetham Chakraborty, Shankar Loy, Vishal Shekhar and Mithun. Singh has received many awards and honors, including 2 Filmfare Awards, an IFA Award, a C. Zine Award and 2 Screen Awards. He received most awards and nominations for the song Tum Hi Ho in Ashiki 2, 9 awards from the 10 nominations for this song. He was named the most popular artist of 2014 by the Hungama Digital Media Entertainment after winning an online poll conducted by music streaming website Hungama.com. Forbes India magazine declared him 34th on its 2014 Celebrity 100 list. On the 8th of May 2016, Singh will take stage with a symphony orchestra to give Sri Lankan audience a one-of-a-kind performance at an event assisted by the MTV MBC Media Network and M Entertainment.
Hi, this is Arijit Singh. I'm very excited to perform in Sri Lanka for the first time ever with my band and symphony orchestra on 8th of May 2016. Please be there.
And with that, we wrap up the news for tonight. I'm Aishwarya Pinto.
And I'm Shen Silva. Take care and good night.